Do you think that the United States was founded on Christian principles? Do you think our founding fathers believed in God and acknowledged Him in our primary documents? Well, many in the media, in our universities, and editors of magazines and newspapers say no. But in today's program, we'll show you there was a time when our Supreme Court, our government, our universities all agreed that America was founded on Christian principles. In fact, you'll see that the Supreme Court cited 87 examples from American history to prove that America was founded as a Christian nation. The court case we'll look at came to the Supreme Court in 1892. It's called the Church of the Holy Trinity versus the United States. My guest today, who will provide the documentation, is David Barton, president of Wall Builder Presentations. Listen.
Is the United States a Christian nation, or was it founded in any way on Christian principles? Well, there was certainly a period in American history when we believed that, when we firmly believed that it was built on Christian principles. And probably one of the best indications of the fact that we believe that comes from, of all sources, the U.S. Supreme Court. There was a case that came to the U.S. Supreme Court in 1892, a case called Church of the Holy Trinity versus United States. At issue in this case was the hiring of a minister, and someone had challenged the fact that a Christian minister was being hired in America. And the court in itself thought that was ludicrous, that anything Christian should be challenged in America. And so they went into an explanation of why that was absolutely absurd to challenge Christian principles in America. And the court, and we understand that when the court does a decision, it goes back through history, it goes back through law, it goes through previous precedents, it tries to arrive at some strong conclusion, and that's what the U.S. Supreme Court did in this case. The court very emphatically declared, it said our laws and our institutions must necessarily be based on and must include the teachings of the Redeemer of mankind. The court continued, it said it's impossible for it to be otherwise. In this sense and to this extent, our civilization and our institutions are emphatically Christian. Now, what would have led the court to such an emphatic declaration that our laws, our institutions, our society was emphatically Christian and that it must include the teachings of the Redeemer of mankind? Well, the court said the reason we say this is because it's historically true. They said from the discovery of the continent to this present hour, there is a single voice everywhere making the same affirmation. We find everywhere a clear recognition of this truth. And the court proceeded to go into a history lesson. It went through 87 instances of American history, starting from the discovery of the continent, the time of Columbus, and going all the way through their current day in 1892. After having gone through 87 precedents, the court said, we could go like this for a long time. 87 is sufficient to say that Christ must be the center. Now, had we attended school prior to World War II, we would have known of these 87 precedents. We would have found most of them in our textbooks. But anyone that's attended high school since World War II has probably never seen even one of the instances that the U.S. Supreme Court cited as the emphatic basis for their declaration that we are a Christian nation, that Christian principles are to remain the basis of this society.